So the hard part about technical analysis is that there are too many things to look at. And the market moves fast, so we don't have a whole lot of time to sit around and make decisions in many cases. And when there are too many things to look at, one of two things is going to happen. Either number one, it's going to cause you to miss trades because you're looking at too many stocks and too many indicators at once, so you're going to miss things. Or number two, it's going to confuse you so much that you're going to get what's called analysis paralysis, which means you don't know what to do. You're getting so many different signals from so many different indicators that you just have no idea what to do. So the point of all this is that what we're trying to do and help you do is to focus. Focus on strategies, focus on a limited number of stocks, focus on a limited number of indicators. It's about quality and not quantity. Get to know specific stocks and strategies really well as indicators, so that you can use them well and profit from them. That's what we're trying to do. So with that said, let's look at the volume indicator. Now I realize that volume is not something that I use very much during the trading day, but I definitely use it to analyze stocks after the market has closed. But you can still use it during the trading day if you want to. So let's take a look at this. This is Bank of America, and this is today, which is December 21st, 2017. Now these are 2-minute candles. And let's take a look at what's going on and how we can use volume candles to see what's going on with Bank of America intraday. Okay, in the beginning, we've got a little bit higher volume and Bank of America shoots up. And there's usually higher volume in the very open, so I'm not too concerned about what I see, like I have said before, in the first 10 minutes or so of trading. So about here, you start to see volume pick up. I'm not ignoring all this. And I'm going to see volume pick up right there as the uptrend continues. Now here's something very interesting. We've got a pullback here on those 3 red candles right there. Volume goes down. So that means that the buyers essentially walk away for a minute, take a short break, and the sellers, what few of them, relatively few there are, push the price back down. Well, why do buyers do that? Well, so they can get lower prices, knowing they're going to push it back up again and buy more. All right. So we see them push it back up on just low volume. And then on heavier volume, they buy more heavily right into there. And you can see the volume spike on that candle right there. Okay. And then look at that. Even though prices go down a little bit, it's on really low volume. And we've got low volume to the downside. I don't see a lot of sellers here. So definitely there's more strength to the upside. And then volume picks up just a tiny little bit and the stock shoots up. All of this is indicating a very strong stock. What you want to see is that when price goes up, it's on heavier volume, and when price goes down, it's on lower volume. That tells you the strength is really to the upside, because that's where the volume is in connection with the price going up. Okay, and when the price goes down, it's on relatively light volume, like right there. We see that again right there. Big candle down, but it's on just normal volume. Again, we see it over here. It's about average volume on that pullback there. But that helps you to see that a trend is going to continue or not. This also holds true on a daily chart. So you can look at this on daily charts to see how the trend is doing and the strength of the move. Let's see if we can follow through a little bit throughout this day. And that's where we are right now. So you definitely see a lot bigger up candles than you do down candles. So there's a pretty big down candle right there is in terms of price, but in terms of volume, it's smaller than these much bigger up candles. Okay. And then regular volume up and down here for a few bars. So still, I don't see a lot of strength to the downside. It could come in, but I'm not really seeing it yet. And then when we see a big volume on that bar, tells you that the uptrend is still intact. Now we have a low volume bar there, but still there's a lot of strength in the trend. Finally, you get a big volume down bar, and we get a little follow through to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of telling you what's going on with Bank of America. Even now, it's in the middle of lunchtime. The price and the volume, we've got a little bit higher volume there. The price didn't go down very far. So that's very interesting to note, to see volume and see how far the strength is in terms of price and volume. Who's really in the lead here? Based on everything I see on Bank of America, I would suggest it's probably going to have a little flat move during lunch for the next half hour to an hour maybe. And then it could easily go up further in the second half of the day, okay, in the afternoon. So this is useful information. Bank of America, very strong stock today. Now, let me show you something else that I like to show people. I call them flat tops and flat bottoms. Now, look at this right here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. Once again, these are 2-minute candles. So you've got 4 candles right at $29.90 per share. When you see 4 candles bouncing off a price like that, what that means is somebody puts in an order, somebody big, the smart money, who controls a lot of money, is putting in an order to sell all the shares that you have or that you can at that price. And when that happens, it goes down for a few cents. So you notice it bounced off right there and went above briefly, and they pushed it down. It bounced off that price again. Pretty good signal, at least for a very brief move. It's going to go down, and it did. It went from $29.90 down to $29.86. Not a big move. Obviously, the buyers are still in control here, but somebody put in that order. Look at that. There's another one right there. Another flat top. Somebody put in another big order to sell as many shares as they could at that price. Interesting that happens right before lunchtime. So somebody who bought a bunch of shares this morning most likely is selling out right before lunch and taking profits. Because I see 2 flat tops, 1, 2, and there's actually a third one right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, right in a row. Isn't that interesting? 1, 2, 3 in a row, all of them hit exactly the same price, 4 bars in a row. And although it did pop above it briefly here, they quickly pushed it back down. And in fact, they pushed it to a lower price down here. So this is telling you that the buyers have stepped aside and the sellers are in control for a while. This is very useful information if you spot this. Okay. I notice that when I'm trading, suddenly a stock can't go above a certain price and keeps bouncing off it. You can especially see that on the level 2 software when you're looking at the prices and you see somebody is really set at one price. That's really good information to know. These are all very valuable. Also, I've talked about tails before. Tails are when you see a big move above the trend and they push it back down quickly. Here you see 1, 2, 3, 4 tails in a row. That's telling you that there's a quick snapback. Now there's a lot of little tails. I don't pay much attention to little tails, But when you see them starting to push it back pretty hard, that's telling you that it's likely to go in the other direction pretty quickly. Here we see a quick snap, couple of tails there, and we see it bottom out at that price 3 times in a row at, looks like, $29.83. So on a very short-term basis, that's useful information. You can use that to help you decide the next short-term, very short-term move for a stock. So these are all little signals that together can help you understand what the market is doing and where the big players are as they place their trades. So let me see if I can just randomly go to another stock and see if we can find the same thing in this. So why don't we go to, I don't know, how about Apple Computer today, or just Apple? So let's give that just a moment and pull up the 2-minute charts and see if we can find any of these same patterns on Apple. And let's go back to the open and see what we can find. Okay, so we see a very strong up move, a couple quick tails, not much follow through there. Where's the volume? Well, the volume's all to the upside. Not seeing much strength in the sellers. There's interesting. We've got a fairly big down move, down candle, but the candle volume is not that big. It's a little bigger than the most recent candles, but definitely not compared to the opening candles. Okay. I still see bigger up volume than down. And yet, the prices are coming down. That's a divergence. That means the buyers are probably still there, but they've stepped aside for right now. The volume kind of drops off. Let's even increase the chart here to see it better. So we're getting sideways action, and really the up candles are still bigger than the down candles, down volume candles. Finally, we see the buyers jump in again about 10:30, and we see the volume spike up. Didn't I tell you that stocks with heavier volume on one side than the other, they tend to follow through? Well, we see that right here in Apple. Here's an interesting thing. We've got lower down volume and just a tiny pullback, showing all very strong moves to the upside. Volume again increases to the upside, and we've got a strong uptrend. We've got a big down volume bar there. It didn't go down very much. Interesting. Pretty steady up move. Finally, we get a super big down volume candle right there. Even though the price candle didn't go down too much, well, that's a pretty big signal that some sellers might be in there, so it'd be worth watching. Or if the buyers are going to jump in and prop it up. So when I start to see the red volume candles really outnumbering and larger than recent green candles, that's a sign that the sellers are probably taking over for now. So it's good to know. So that's how you can use volume intraday to look at stocks and see who's really in control, in addition to support, resistance, trend, and any technical indicators you might be using. So I hope that helps. This is Greg Kilpack with Trader to Be, and we'll talk more about technical indicators in the next video. Good luck trading.